Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Football Focus SG podcast with myself, Faiz, and our two legendary podcast champions over here, Harun Nafi and Mr. JB. It's been a while since we actually get to do this podcast. In reality, due to a lot of things that are happening, but also football, there's a lot of things happening as well. So, Mr. JB, how you been doing so far?
Mixed bag, mixed bag,
Mixed bag. Okay, we're
mixed
gonna go
bag.
through about it. We're gonna go through about your mixed bag feelings. Harun Nazi, yourself, has football been keeping you occupied, or how you been doing?
Both on and off the field. I've been pretty occupied on a personal level, and at the same time, football as a whole around the world has been keeping me occupied. But at the same time, finding time to watch matches is a little bit difficult nowadays. Yeah. So yeah, let's see what we can do with this, man.
Yeah, it is. I mean, despite having our local SPL league ended, we do have other footballs going on around, especially the most watched league ever, which is English Premier League. Um, if you guys watching this by now, I'm sure a lot of people have seen the news, especially with the new manager of Spurs. That's the latest news that's going on as of the moment. So we're gonna start with that. We're gonna start with EPL because there's obviously a lot of things that's going on. So Tottenham Hotspur has officially sacked Nuno, Espirito, Santo after 10 games of Premier League, and basically only 3-4 months, I believe, and immediately got Conte for 18-month contract. So my personal take before I start to jump into question to you guys is that personally, yes, if you ask me if this is upgrade, yes, it is. But should Nuno be given more time? Yes, I would say yes. So it's a bit of a mixed bag for this. So this is where I need you guys, the expert, Mr. JB Aronazi, to come in and help. Aronazi, gonna start with you because you were at one point of time Spurs fan due to Mourinho. We all do respect. But now they have changed from Portuguese Mourinho to Portuguese Santo to now Italian Antonio Conte. Is this move really good for Spurs, or is this move good for Conte, or is this move good for both?
Okay. My point of view is, of course, it's a great move for Spurs as a club
Yeah,
because you're getting a winner at the end of the day, who
yeah,
most recently just won the Italian title last season, and
yeah.
then he took a break. So obviously, Spurs are at the winning end for this. For Conte himself, I think when he signed a contract with Spurs, I think he knew what he's getting himself into, and we've seen all over his social media and articles being written about his move, how he claims that Spurs have state-of-the-art facilities, training ground, they have a great stadium and all, and who can disagree with that if
Yeah.
we do our own research, yeah. But I think it's going to be a challenge for him because I personally, on a personal note, I don't think uh, you know we always connect Conte with players who are of that, that who has that warrior spirit. He always
Yeah.
demands that extra bit from his players. I think if you've seen clips of him, talking about spilling blood on the field and all that, it's typical.
I believe it was an interview that he was at
Yeah,
Chelsea where
yeah. When
Thierry
he was
Henry
interviewed
asked,
by Henry, correct,
yeah, and
correct. He
he
was
said that
interviewed.
the players that doesn't have a
They will
good
kill him.
attitude in training, they will kill him.
Yeah, correct.
So I get that. I get maybe
Yeah,
that's probably his way of how he drives
true.
the players on. But looking at this first team, I mean, I'm not saying that this Spurs team is bad, but if you look at the managers that they went through, they have Mourinho and they have Santo. And what actually went wrong? Is it really the managers, or is it the players, or is it their idea?
Okay, if the question that you're asking me, who's in the wrong? I always believe football is a marriage between a lot of circumstances. The
Yeah,
coach, the players,
yeah,
the backroom staff, the people handling the management up top, the board of directors, and so on and so on. So I don't believe in singling out one person to be the cause. At the end of the day, if a team doesn't perform well, we all know the manager is going to take the brunt of it. And uh to go back on your first question with the players that Conte has right now. Look, at the end of the day, I think they are very talented players,
yeah,
but uh, I think there are some players that need to step up. There are some players who have not been performing well as how they have been performing during we go all the way back to Mauricio's Pochettino's time.
Yeah.
So I think and Conte is someone who's very demanding. It's going to be difficult for players who is not, I wouldn't say it's not up to his liking, but players who don't share the same sentiments as Conte does. But not trying to go overboard and all that. I think he's inherited a good squad, a talented group of players, but uh, time will tell whether they buy into his philosophies, to his ideas, his ideologies, and how he wants to play football. And I hope it's a good marriage because it'll only make the league interesting, the battle for the top six interesting, moving forward. So yeah, looking forward to the battles between him and the rest of the managers in the Premier League.
Yeah, most definitely. But Mr. JB, over to you. Just a quick one. My question to you a little bit is the same as pretty much how I asked Harun Nazri, but it's like twist there. Previously, before Spurs actually hire Nuno Santo, they actually tried Conte, but it was rejected. So now, after being sacked, and they finally got Conte, obviously they have come up with a better promise, a better improvement kind of contract or clause or promises that's given to Conte, which is, as you for you as a Man U fan, as a rival fan, how scary would this be for you? Like Conte now, is Conte gonna be given what he wants by Daniel Levy? How good is this appointment for Spurs?
Well, appointment-wise, I think it's good. You take a look at Conte's resume. He's proven himself. Time and again where he goes. Yes, some people may argue he's those short-term manager per se. Not so much on the loyalty side.
I mean, it's 18
Whatsoever.
months, so it is pretty short for managers.
Yeah, well, exactly. And some people start to package things like, if you just want quick trophies, just do it. For me personally, I feel there's nothing wrong with that. It's the same like in any job. If the staff can elevate the company and bring it somewhere, after that the staff leaves, that is great. I find that perfectly fine. So to all those who saying that he's short term and just glory hunters, I think that is perfectly fine, because at the end of the day, this entire football business revolves around winning and trophies. At the end of the day, that is what matters. That is the KPI for every manager. So for me, getting Conte, yes, that is a top signing, I would say. That Spurs got, but then again, I personally feel at the same time that I believe the current group of players, I'm not sure whether they can deliver in that sense. Although yes, I believe that majority of the players are most likely the same ones that Pochettino left with, but then again, Mourinho came in and bought some players. I'm not sure if they sell any. That is, I wouldn't say like a marquee signing or anything like that, but I mean that's the thing. It'll be very interesting to see whether Spurs can actually match some of the transfer deals that's going on compared to the rest of the clubs in the league. Because yes, it seems like Spurs is more interested in spending on managers and players apparently. And I personally feel that the current crop of players, I don't think they can do enough. But it's just my it's just my personal thought. And since Conte just joined, and I think as we speak, it's only one game that he's handled. Yeah, I really hope that he can prove me wrong for this one and deliver something for Spurs. Yeah.
Okay, but sticking to Spurs, quick one before we move on to other clubs. We've seen Mourinho being sacked right before the League Cup final, and we've seen Nuno Santo being sacked just 10 games in Premier League. Now, mind if I ask Mr. JB you first, are those actually justifiable to you?
You mean for both Mourinho and Santo?
I mean, Mourinho, okay, probably because it's been a season ago, and well, basically the dressing rooms, as always, whenever Mourinho is in the team, players may get a little bit hostile or toxic. Mourinho loved to single out players, like For Man United, it might be Pogba, but Spurs is Dele Alli. The same. But for Nuno Santo now, because basically he just got sacked and after just 10 games, do you think that it's fair for them to judge him in that short space of time? Was he being given the chance to really implement his ideas to the team just like that? Like, is that fair for him to be let go?
Well, of course, from a fan perspective, from where we are watching and the info that we got, it's quite obvious and apparent that it's obviously not fair because you couldn't judge a
Yeah.
coach after like what 15 games so far that he's handled, including the conference league and what have you. So it's definitely too short for me personally. But at the same time, I'm not sure what's actually happening behind closed doors. Probably Levy may probably ask the players or get some feedback from the players, from the staff, from the coaches probably. How is the atmosphere like in the ground? Is the coach managed to bring out the best out of his players? So all these are things that are unseen, that is probably happening behind the scenes that we do not know. But of course, from a fan perspective, from what I can see, of course, I don't feel that it's fair, for you to actually give him the boot so early, because I don't think Spurs are doing not too well. And at the end of the day, I mean, I might be sounding a bit critical and a bit more on my Manchester United side, but I don't see Spurs as breaking into anywhere in the top four yet. It's tough for me to say because some people actually think that Leicester can be considered as a top four, top five teams just because of that one Premier League trophy that they won. You see, so it's a little bit tough. But for me, yes, I believe that it all boils down to the players that they have. You see, because last season Kane was the golden boot
Yeah.
for the Premier League. Son was on fire, right? And
Yeah.
then during Pochettino time, they made it to the Champions League final, right? And then under Mourinho, they managed to reach the League Cup final. So I believe, probably from a Spurs fan perspective, is like, hey, we do have the potential, to get somewhere, to win something, at least
Yeah.
a silverware. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, probably Spurs is good enough to win a silverware, yes, but to compete at that highest level when you're talking about the top three or the top four of the Premier League right now, I'm afraid they may need more work. And bringing in just one manager like Conte, I don't think it's enough. I mean, I might be wrong, but I think even Conte would definitely have his own shopping list for for the players transfer and all these things for him to really get the team that he wants. So yeah, we shall see.
Yeah. Well, one last question about Spurs, but to Harun Nazir real quick. Well, following on what Mr. JB mentioned earlier, believes that the squad may not be good enough, but Conte may deliver them trophies. That's true. However, my question is, he did sign in an 18-month contract. Now, let's just put theoretically that Conte is just going to stick to 18 months. All right. And given that he's not able to get a summer transfer window this season, he's only going to get January, next season, summer window, and then next January. Do you think he can actually bring trophy within 18 months? Do you think he can actually instill a Spurs team and to be a force to be reckoned with in this league?
Okay, look, he signed an 18 months contract, which is I feel I won't say unheard of, but it's a unique kind of contract to sign
Very
18
unique.
months,
Very
right?
unique. Yeah.
But I think
Very specific as well.
yeah, and I think he's smart. Conte is smart because we all know his demands towards his players, but not only is towards his players, but towards his management staff as well, towards the board of directors as well.
Yeah.
He's a winner. He wants to bring in winners. So he doesn't want to, I feel, from my personal perspective, he doesn't want to tarnish his image. That's why I think he's smart to sign an 18 months contract. Why? He comes into the season, which has already gone maybe 10, 14 matches for Spurs, Premier League and also the Europa Conference League.
Yeah.
He won't get, in January, maybe he's going to get players in, one or two, I feel. But chances of that happening is maybe...
I mean, it's very little because
Yeah,
January
it's very
you don't
little.
see
True.
much business going on.
True. And I think they already have a stacked squad.
Yeah.
And then going into the summer, and we have to remember next summer there's also the World Cup.
Exactly.
The World Cup is
So, I
coming.
mean, 18 months, is it theoretically he can able
I
to
don't
keep?
think. Okay, look, I don't think he can do. If you want to build a philosophy,
Yeah.
this is my take. If you want to build a philosophy, it takes time.
Yeah.
Do I think he can get it done in 3 months? I think he can do it. I think he can do it. But it, it's a bit difficult for me. I think he's someone who's capable to change the mentality of players. Can a coach come in and change the mentality of players within a short span of time? I think they can, provided the players can buy into your ideas and philosophies. I think they have proven winners like Harry Kane. Harry Kane, the only problem for him is I think he's still burdened by thoughts of wanting to leave for Man City. So he's not firing on all cylinders. But that's that.
Yeah.
Signing an 18 months contract, going back to Conte signing an 18 months contract, I think he's smart. If he don't get the players that he wants at the end of the season, he has an option to leave. And say example, if he, it works two ways. Conte gets an 18 months contract. Tottenham Hotspurs get a coach, a top class coach for 18 months. If say example he doesn't deliver, and at the end of the 18 months they can't come to a conclusion or they can't sit down and decide, look, we have achieved what we've achieved, fair trade, done and dusted, you're on your way. But the way I look at it, 18 months contract, I think Spurs are looking to win some titles within 18 months. Possible? I think so. Premier League title? I don't think so. Cup competition? Maybe. Cup
Yeah.
competition? Maybe. Conference League? Most probably.
Yeah.
League Cup? FA Cup? Most probably. League title in 18 months? Far-fetched, but we always have to remember Spurs nearly won the Premier League when Leicester won it when they finished second place or third place, if I'm not wrong. That season,
They were very close to
true,
Leicester until their
match against Chelsea,
yeah, and they just fallen
crumbled.
apart, and
True,
Arsenal got second in the last day, but that
true,
wasn't even realistic because
true.
Leicester won.
So, do again, I go back to my point. They do have talented players, and like you mentioned, the squad is more or less the same. Only 3, 4, 5, 6 signings coming in, but you look at the squad. Eric Dyer is still playing centre back. Ben Davies started as a left-sided centre back yesterday.
Yeah.
They still have Harry Kane. They still have Lucas Moura. They still have Son Heung-min. And look, Conte, 18 months. The way I look at it, the board of directors look at it as 18-month contract. This guy is going to win for us something. Is he going to win the Premier League title? Far-fetched, but you never know with Conte and the players. I feel in these 18 months, they should at least win 2 cups competition. At least.
Wow.
If they can win cup competitions, at least 2 of it, I think he can get himself another contract. Provided the board of directors assist him to get the players that he wants.
I mean, is Daniel Levy seems to be the chairman that allows Conte to
He
get back?
doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't
I mean,
look
come
like
on,
that.
Roman and Mourinho had that
True.
moment as well, and he worked.
True.
And after a while, he fall apart.
But
Is
we all
Conte going
know.
to be that case?
We all know Daniel Levy is a chairman who's very stingy with his money, if that's the word.
Yeah.
He's holding on to whatever that he had. He hold on to Harry Kane when he could have let him go and earn some big money. But again, Harry Kane has a contract. Harry Kane has to oblige by it. Is he going to bring in big name players for Conte? 1 or 2, but I don't think he's going to splurge the money over 80 million for a player. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's not going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. 18 months contract. I think it's a win-win situation for both Conte and the club. If they do win some titles, they do win some championships or trophies, they will look at extending Conte. Is he going to stay at Spurs for 4 or 5 seasons? I don't think it has ever happened in Conte's
Scary
reign,
thought,
right?
but yeah.
Yeah, if he goes, I feel with the state of players that Tottenham has now, I think he would need maybe 2 seasons to even push for a challenge for the title. But again, the ball is round; anything can happen. Yeah, it's Conte,
It's Conte
right?
at the end.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next club that has a lot of manager in talks as well, and that is currently the richest club in the world, Newcastle United, who is richer than all clubs in English football, richer than Paris Saint-Germain, richer than anything else that you can think of. But basically the news that's happening around is that initially they were going for Unai Emery, but doesn't seem to be happening now. there seems to be talks and agreeing right now to Eddie Howe. Now, Mr. JB, gonna start with you first for this. First of all, you were a Newcastle fan a little bit. I remember that your second club that you might support is either Leicester or Newcastle. But but what do you think for Newcastle fans? Is this a right step, a good start as a stepping stone for them to start to rebuild to basically how Man City were? Is Eddie Howe the right start for them?
Wow. I mean, I'm sorry. I was caught off guard. I didn't know it was Eddie Howe was one of the so-called nominees or candidate for.
No, it seems to be very strong link right now that it's
Yeah.
going to be him. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, digest a little bit there.
Well, I'm trying to fit a puzzle now. Okay, I mean, it's almost like a jigsaw puzzle. I'm trying to see where Eddie Howe fits in that huge puzzle piece that we got. Wow. I mean, definitely it's huge. I mean, for Eddie Howe, but I'm not too sure. I mean, how the fans will react to that. I don't think the fans will be pleased with that kind of I would say choice. I guess I mean
Yeah,
you're talking about Eddie Howe. Wow, I believe he last managed like what, Bournemouth, is it?
in the Premier League, he managed Bournemouth before he went to the Scottish Premier League, another SPL over there.
Right. Well, I don't know. I mean, probably there's probably something.
Did he move to the Scottish Premier League?
I
I don't think he did, right?
Oh wait, I cannot remember. Let me
He
check.
was linked. I think he was linked to
He was
Celtic
linked to Celtic, but
before
I don't think
Celtic.
he was
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah, before Celtic signed an Australian coach to coach
Oh
them.
yeah.
He
So
has,
basically, he's been out of job from Bournemouth all the way.
yeah, I think for 2 seasons. He has not been coaching for 2 or 3 seasons already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow. So yeah. So I think I don't know. I mean, you were right when you mentioned about the stepping stone part. I believe he will just be a small part of a bigger project. I think probably just bring him in as an interim, most likely. And then I believe once the dust is settled and everything else, then I think they'll probably get probably a better. Well, I kind of felt bad to use the word better, but I think someone with a more
established.
someone with a more colorful resume, I would say. Someone with more, with a bit more caliber and a credential with the funds that they have. But again, I mean, we never know because um, at the moment right now, even if you look at Newcastle, they're not doing too well. I mean, they have yet to actually win any matches, right?
Yeah.
This season itself. So you can see the problem is way more than just the coach. So, if I'm a Newcastle fan right now, it's really mixed bag because I mean, at this point, if I'm a Newcastle fan, I probably want Alan Shearer to come back. Why not, right? I mean, you have Xavi to Barcelona, you have all the former players coming in, probably get, I don't know, someone like Shearer back, probably. But that's my take. I think Eddie Howe, if it does happen, I think it's just a stepping stone to a bigger project, probably.
Okay. Harun, over to you. Then I'm gonna ask. Well, putting money aside, yes, we know Newcastle is rich. They can buy another club if they want to. They can buy Singapore if they want to, or our whole league if they want. So, but the main question, like what Mr. JB did mention, currently they're not doing well. So let's say money aside, in terms of the long-term project that they can invest, like maybe in the future buying Haaland or Mbappe, maybe, they have the money to do it. But for this season alone, with Steve Bruce being sacked, is Eddie Howe the right man to save them from relegation?
That's a good question, Faiz. So I think, look, Eddie Howe, as I mentioned earlier, he last coached about 2 or 3 seasons ago. I'm not too sure. His team got relegated, Bournemouth. He is known. His team was known to play attractive football or good football to be seen. And I mentioned earlier to you guys on WhatsApp. I feel I reminded you all of Man City signing Mark Hughes when the took over first happened. But Mark Hughes has his style of football. Eddie Howe has his. Is he going to be good? I think when there is a change of manager and a manager who is spoken of well in the industry, it rubs off well with the players. So will they start winning under Eddie Howe? I think they will. Uh, will they survive relegation? I think they will. Um, will they be playing attractive football soon? I think not so soon. Do I think Eddie Howe is the man to lead Newcastle to greater heights? Example, playing the Champions League football and whatnot. I want you guys to imagine this, both Faiz and Mr. JB. Imagine Eddie Howe managing a player like Kylian Mbappe. Imagine that. It doesn't fit right with you, right? Imagine him.
I mean, if you're telling me now that he went from coaching Ryan Fraser in Bournemouth to Mbappe, that's very far-fetched.
Exactly. But some others out there would say, well, we need to give him a chance. Yeah, I understand and I agree. Coaches need to be given a chance, but you have to be realistic at the end of the day. Again, I have to go back to this. I'm sorry, Mr. JB. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Manchester United. Mulder, Manchester United.
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo, Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. If you were to put, I'm sorry again to all the Manchester United fans out there, you can criticize me all you want, and I don't care. Look, there's Solskjaer and then there's Zizou. There's Zinedine Zidane, who has managed Real Madrid with all the star players and whatnot. Of course, he has the ability to manage big name players. It has been proven, and he was a winner with them. Look, people can say, yeah, he's given all the great players. Imagine him going to Newcastle and try to build players like Hendricks in centre midfield, Almiron attacking mid, Callum Wilson, Lascelles centre back.
Yeah.
Dude, he's not gonna come anytime soon. Zidane is not gonna come anytime soon. Hence, I said Eddie Howe is good for now. I feel Eddie Howe can bring the club back. I won't say bring the club back to its roots. No, because I've never remembered Newcastle as a club that plays attractive football. It has always been you play to get a result. Nothing to do with attractive or defensive. It's a win-win situation, both 50 and 50. So I think Eddie Howe is a good manager to provide the platform for Newcastle United. Survive this season, get another season next year to see how he can push the players up. If he managed to get Newcastle in the top 8, are you going to sack Eddie Howe then? I don't think so. Right?
Yeah.
If Eddie Howe, if he's given an opportunity now and he survives relegation, this season is dead and gone. And the next season comes about and he managed to finish top 8 in the Premier League with Newcastle. Newcastle managed to get into the Conference League. Are we not going to give him another chance for next season? For sure they will.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's always in football. It's gradual, correct. The owners mentioned things about playing in Champions League or whatnot. And I bet the owners are not crazy people. They know it's realistic targets. They have the money. That's why they have to be not performing. They have the money. That's why they have to be competing at the highest level. Yeah. But again, I know for a fact, for sure, they're not too unrealistic to think that Newcastle is going to play Champions League next season. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So Eddie Howe to provide a platform for Newcastle United, survive relegation, finish in the top 8 next season, and then we'll see from there.
Yeah, I mean, personally, myself as well, I think that Eddie Howe is just there for stability.
Correct.
They need to stabilize themselves somewhere.
Forget about playing good football. Because I don't think he has the players. Newcastle United have the players to play attractive football. Yeah. I don't think so. Stabilize the group, make the players happy, get them to play a style or system that is beneficial to the players, a style of play that would make the Newcastle fans happy. Look, I've seen a lot of interviews. All the Newcastle United fans want is win. They just want to win. They don't care about the style of football. Look, if you want to play attractive football, you're going to tell me Rafa Benitez play attractive football? I don't think so. But he get them wins. Yeah. When they get them wins, appease the fans, make the fans happy. Eddie Howe is a good start point for that.
Yeah, most definitely. But now my question to you guys before we move on to another club, that's a very quick question. To both Mr. JB and Harun Nazrin. If you guys are the owner of the Newcastle right now, with all the money that you have right now, who's the one manager in your mind that you'll bring in for a long-term project? Can be anyone. Can be anyone that you feel is the right manager to build Newcastle to where they want them to be, like a Man City kind of thing. So who's gonna start first, answer?
I think I'll go first.
All right.
I feel for now,
Yeah.
and then slowly gradual staying with the club for a long period of time.
Yeah.
I would go with Graham Potter.
Graham Potter.
I would go with Graham Potter. I think whatever that he has done at Brighton is brilliant. They've been growing and growing and growing. You look at the football that they're playing, they're very daring, they're very courageous with their football.
Yeah.
Look, if there's someone, if people like to talk about projects, right? People like to talk about projects. I think he's the man for that. I think is he going to be the person? If he is the one that gets the job, stabilize the club, bring it up.
But again,
Look,
is he going to be the one to attract star players? Like you were mentioning,
star players,
Howe
if-
and
if-
Mbappe. Now it's
look,
Graham Potter and
I
Mbappe.
feel if, like I said, mentioned earlier, if they were to finish top 8 next season,
Yeah.
I think they can attract top good players because players are nowadays are not dumb. Players nowadays know what they want. If
Yeah.
they see a club trajectorying in a good manner, moving up and up and up, I think why not take a chance? Okay, the question should be, if I is, which player is going to come to Newcastle United? That should be the question. If say example Newcastle finish in the top 8 next season,
Yeah.
I pose a question back to you.
Okay.
Who do you think? Which player do you think is going to come to Newcastle
You mean after getting to conference?
after getting into Conference League? Who do you think? They're not going to attract Haaland. They're
No.
not going to attract
No.
Mbappe. What kind of caliber of players do you think
I
Newcastle
would
can
say
attract?
players who are playing in Europa League.
True.
Players
I
who are
feel-
playing for Europa League, yes, it may technically be like a step down, but then if you look at long term, Newcastle is a long term project where you can actually.
I can name a player
Yeah.
whom I think, look, Newcastle United have a lot of money now.
Yeah.
I don't think a player minds dropping down from Europa League to Conference League,
Yeah.
but he improves his wages. A player that I think comes to mind right now, top of it, Xhaka, Arsenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a good player. Mixed bags with Arsenal's fans. A move to Newcastle, I think, would be beneficial for him. Shaqiri, why not?
Yeah.
Players like this, Minamino, why not? Liverpool. These kind of players who find it difficult to break into their first team squad, bring them to Newcastle, give them a platform, rise with them. Who knows? Challenge for the titles in 3-4 years.
It's very interesting shout there.
We can't. I feel Newcastle United cannot be looking at Haaland, Mbappe, Sancho, Greenwood.
Not
It's
anytime.
not gonna happen. If they're gonna go for big players, Raheem Sterling, why not? He's not playing at Man City. He can be their first major signing. Why not?
Maybe Riyad Mahrez. Yeah.
Why not? That's the way I look at it. Mr. JB, how about you, man?
Yeah, Mr. JV, would you agree with Graham Potter as one of your suggestion, or if you're the owner, who is your manager for the long-term plan?
Well, I don't know, man. I'm just saying this at the top of my head. Just take Ole, right? Take Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Please take him, all right? He has the credentials. He manages Manchester United. He was from interim manager turned permanent. He kind of brought Manchester to, to what? To probably what? Europa,
to
the Europa League.
Europa League final, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The Europa League final. But please, Ole, if you happen to go Newcastle, please don't buy Van der Beek. Do not buy Van der Beek. All right.
Actually, Van der Beek
You
should
know
go
what I'm saying?
Newcastle, yeah.
Yeah. Probably.
That's a good shout. I feel so too. He should
Exactly.
go, raise his wages, get a lot of playing
Yeah.
time, elevate his style. Why not?
Yep, that's right. Provided it's not Ole who's the manager, right?
Yeah.
If it's Ole, if it's Ole the manager, I think the first signing will be Fred.
I think Van der Beek will probably suicide. If
I
only
mean-
he's manager again. No, but
if Ole were to go to Newcastle, right? Maguire will be 2-time most expensive defender in Premier League history.
oh, God.
But in all seriousness, jokes aside, I think let's see. At the top of my head, I think why not take Nuno? He's available now, right? I think he might have something to prove.
Yeah.
Newcastle isn't a bad team. At the same time, I feel that given the chance, I think he can, somewhat bring to the next level. I have to agree with what Arun Nazri said. You as a club like Newcastle, of course, even the owners are realistic in terms of the goal setting and all those things. You cannot just possibly richest club in the world, and the next season I want to win the Premier League or something like that. No, it doesn't happen overnight. Even with all the money that you have, even if there's no financial fair play, blah blah blah. End of the day, you need to regain the fans' trust first, I believe. I think the fans have suffered quite a bit under Mike Ashley and all kinds of hoo-ha and back and forth. So I think it's slowly for them to win the fans first, build their own identity, and then move on slowly from there. Which, at the same time, I feel that if it's a long-term project, yes, by all means, I agree with what Hernazi mentioned. Get those kind of players who is right now struggling to get or break into first 11. And these are all decent players. The names that you mentioned, Minamino, Van der Beek, Granit Xhaka, all these have kind of proven themselves at a certain level, in world football that deserve, more play time. And at the same time, I think Newcastle will definitely offload quite a few of their players as well. So yeah, it will definitely be a very interesting project to look at, and I wouldn't be surprised if, they might get Ronaldo away. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Look,
Who knows? You never know.
Faiz, top of head. We
Yeah.
are looking at project.
Yeah.
Brendan Rodgers. Why not? Give him a
Mm.
5-year contract.
Yeah.
Pay him whatever he wants. Give him the amount of money that he needs. We've seen what he's done with Liverpool. We've seen what he's done with Celtic. We've seen what he's done with Leicester. Give him the contract 5 years. Tell him in these 5 years, these are your targets. These are your objectives. Give him, I won't say give him the amount of money that he wants, then it's going to be unrealistic. Tell him to come up with a plan. What kind of players you want? What's the style of football that you want to achieve? Build. And if I'm in Brendan Rodgers' position, if I'm not, look, he's at Leicester. He nearly won it with Liverpool. He's doing good things with Leicester, but this season it's a bit on and off. He has done it at Celtic, won everything except for the Champions League title. I think if you give him a job at Newcastle United, tell him in these 5 years, guaranteed, we're not going to sack you because we know you're not going to get us relegated. Believe in the project, believe in whatever outcome that you want to achieve. We believe in you. You go about and do it. At the mid-range point, 2.5 years, 3 years, if at the 3 seasons, after 3 seasons, evaluate as a whole as a club. Manager, board of directors, board of management, how far have we come along? How are things going? Are players happy? Is there a style of play? Is there a system? The players coming in, are we attracting good players? If all the signs ticks are well, stick with him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent shout. I can see that happening as well. I mean, Graham Potter, Nuno Santo by Mr. JB, and also Brendan Rodgers. But personally, I feel this is my choice. I don't know why from the top of my head. My first manager that I feel he can still do something about it is Frank Lampard. Here's why. Reason being because he had very good relation with young talents. Secondly, he's a well-known footballer around the world. I'm sure there are younger players now. They are playing like maybe like Mbappe's age and all. They all know Lampard. I'm sure some of them are his like idol and all. So he can attract players to Newcastle. He can also bring up the youth because all the youth look up to him. I mean, just look how he done in Chelsea at the time when transfer banned. I mean, he deserves a lot of credit for that. I mean, of course, after that, subsequently, when he's allowed to spend, that's where expectations are a bit more high and he didn't deliver. Maybe something similar like this as well, like what Hernazi said, doesn't necessarily have to give so much money. Just implement your idea of what you want to play with and see how the structure is and see how it goes. Personally, I feel like Frank Lampard could be somewhat of a decent choice as well. May not be more experienced compared to the other three that I mentioned, Graham Potter, Brendan Rodgers, Nuno Santo, but well, it is what it is, right? So Eddie Howe is what currently strong link right now. So moving on now to talk about the league that's currently happening right now. It's been about 10 matches going on. We're gonna talk about briefly, of course, Mr. JB, as much as I try to get over about Liverpool winning 5-0, it's very hard, but since our last talk, all the way till now, Mr. JB, current Premier League right now, how do you feel about the league standing right now? Are you satisfied with Man United where they are now? Or is the league how it's supposed to look like, according to your prediction?
Satisfied. Well, it's a tough call, really. I
Yeah,
mean, you look at the position right now of the table. It's very topsy-turvy from, I think, easily the top 10 at least.
yep,
It's all over the place. Of course, if you ask me as a United fan, are we supposed to be there? Nope. But do we deserve to be there? Yes. Okay, because I'm very impressed with the rest of the teams. Let's not talk about Chelsea and Liverpool and Man City. We all know where they are. You know, they've been going all full gear. You know, from the start of the season, they look prepared. But
yeah,
let's mention more of the not so popular ones like West Ham,
yeah.
Brighton, Wolves. You know, these are the teams that is slowly, picking up the paces and everything else. So as a Manchester United fan, not enjoying that 5-0 loss. It's a painful, very, very painful, big horse-sized pill to swallow for all fans.
I understand that, man.
Yeah, but I believe at the same time, it is what it is. You know, sometimes you need those kind of rude awakening kind of result to actually shock you up. You know,
Yeah,
and it's better now than later. You know, because if we keep on playing all the minnows and all the small teams, thinking that we've done enough, no, we're not.
yeah,
If you just need to know why I'm saying not enough, well, take a look at our clean sheet record. How many times have
yeah,
we even got clean sheet this season? Probably one or two max. I don't even have the exact number out of 15 games. That's not good enough. And you look at the number of saves that De Gea has been putting, that's also not good enough. Our
yeah,
defense back line needs some fixing. Our midfield line still needs some tweaking here and there. You know, we all know that central midfield problem and etc. So again, um, the same problems we're talking about again. Signings been brought in, but not sure if it's the right signing to reinforce the proper, position that needs to be fixed.
yeah.
But then again, credit to Solskjaer, that I have to give it to him. It's not easy being pressured with those kind of upset and setbacks. But then again, we need to remember, the players that we have at the moment is, I would say, on paper lah. If you look at the names that many always put out week in week out, the first 11 on paper, it looks so good. Really, it looks so good. Like the names that you have World Cup winners, you have all kinds of names over there that is, enough to get the 3 points. But when you look at performance-wise, sometimes this team just, I don't know, the entire team sometimes just doesn't look like they even communicate with each other, especially the captain, which I shall not name who, but you guys know who, that I'm talking about. I mean, as a captain, I don't know. I mean, as a captain, right, you're supposed to be the commanding figure. All right. Mistakes aside, we've seen throughout history, all the captains do make mistakes. Even Roy Keane, who I consider greatly as one of the best captains ever, also has his moments, also has his, red card moments, mistakes, own goals, what have you. But at the end of the day, as a captain, your role is to bring the team together, command something. But I don't know, man. I really don't know whether Maguire his nature is like that or something like that. I have no idea, or he's just a quiet person by nature. If he is, then I think it's about time to change the captain. That's my personal view. And let's not start about Ole because he's always busy
We're gonna
watching.
be here for another hour just for Ole.
Yeah, and just for Ole, I think just one sentence is good enough to sum it up. He's the only manager that enjoy watching Netflix on his tablet while the game is ongoing. All right. So yeah, so for me, that itself is a painful sight, really. I mean, I'm not expecting you to jump around, screaming 24/7. But if you look at Klopp, you look at Thomas Tuchel, you look at all these figures, they are big names. Even Ancelotti, he would be standing there if he needs to stand there for 70 minutes. He would stand there and do
Yeah,
something. Okay, yes, of course, you can't put on your shorts and your jersey and help the team out, but at least, you know, put your point across. You know what I'm saying? Put your point across. And I believe that is something that United is lacking at the moment. You need someone to really knock the senses out of them. I understand Ole's approach is probably those kind of, mentor, like a mentor client kind of, relationship that is trying to build the players, friend, like I'm here for you, you're free, they're professionals, I
yeah.
like, yeah, it's like, I trust my players, I let them do their thing, and then halftime, then I do my talk, and that's it. But come on, man, come on. I mean, these players are, they are being paid to play football, and you are the manager. You are being paid to manage, isn't it? So
Yeah.
start managing. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's my
I
complaint.
mean, we can feel the frustration from you, Mr. JD,
Yeah, of
especially
course,
when you
for
did it.
sure. And it gets worse because there were rumors about Ole out, after that horrendous match, and we were all
I don't think
looking
it was a
forward.
rumor. It was trending after the 5-0 happened.
Yeah, it was. And then, we named all the candidates out, we even put Conte as one of it, and now we have to strike Conte out because apparently Spurs managed to do a quicker job. And kudos to Spurs. I'm really impressed. They managed to dismiss Nuno, and then they managed to get Conte, I think, within a space of 2 days or 3 days. God knows how long it's been going. So yeah, so for me, I don't know. If you ask me as a fan, I'm still 50-50 about Ole. I still don't think he's the right one for us to win the league. Okay, let's be honest. To win the league, I don't think he's the one. But trust me, I would be more than happy if Ole were to prove me wrong, Or I mean, just to make me eat my words. But honestly speaking, you look at the rest of the managers out there that he's competing against Pep, against Klopp, against Tuchel, and now Conte even, those are the names that people have been throwing out. And now people are even mentioning Moyes, you know what I'm saying? Even David Moyes.
Yeah.
People are bringing up Moyes now. And, it is what it is. And for me, he's not there yet to be bringing Manchester United back to where we belong. And sadly for United, it's not about winning Europa League trophies. It's not about winning your League Cups or your FA Cups. It's the Premier League title. It is what it is. When you're talking about big clubs.
I mean, especially when you have like Cristiano Ronaldo in the squad. I mean, of course, yes, he's just one man, but you guys do spend on Varane, Sancho, quality players. I mean, anything less than a fourth is, in fact, getting a third is considered underachieving with that kind of squad. You should be fighting in the close top two, like how Chelsea and Liverpool were. So I can totally
Exactly.
understand.
Yeah, it is what it is, which is why at the end of the day, it's more than just the players. It's more than just, the manager. It's a team, At the end of the day, football is a team sport. It's a cohesive effort from the board to the manager to the players. And a very good example I can give out right now is take a look at Liverpool. Take a look at Liverpool right now. Just take a look at Klopp. All right.
Yeah.
I think he was probably in the same boat as Ole right now, right? At the point of time when he just joined Liverpool, we all thought that he's the man to deliver, but I think 4-5 seasons in, he still have not delivered. The fans are starting to get frustrated and everything, but they trust the process. And look at where they are now. They have a solid system there, playing as a unit, defending as a unit, scoring as a unit, and you have a world-class manager at that. So yeah, so personally, again, back to the table, I feel that it is sad to look at the table as a Manchester United fan because, yes, as you mentioned, names on paper and everything, the players that we sign, is it good enough? No, it's not good enough. But at the end of the day, you can put 3 Ronaldos in there, right? But if you don't fix your defensive problems, you don't fix your midfielder problems, it's a problem, really. And you look at Manchester United coaching staff, Ole, he's not vocal, all right? I mean, during his player time, we all know he's not vocal. You take a look at Carey, all right? No offense to Carey, all right? Carey is the assistant manager, or I'm not sure what his role is at Manchester United right now, okay? As a football player, he's okay, all right? For me as a Man U fan, I'm a bit, I just find him okay. He does his job well as a player. But again, you look at his nature and his character, he's a quiet figure as well, right? So for me, to have a whole quiet affair, in the entire management board, and then you get overwhelmed by players like Pogba, who's loud in nature, players like Ronaldo, players like, who's all these larger than life kind of thing. It may become a situation where it's the manager listening to the players instead, you know what I'm saying? And we don't want that to happen because it's a problem, really. You don't want the players to start dictating the manager, telling the manager that, hey, whatever you're doing is wrong and this and that. Another, like, just my last point again, before I start renting this into a 2-hour Man United session. Just another quick point, right? The game against Leicester, the one that we lost 4-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were rumors swirling around it. Actually, it's not even rumors, like it's confirmed that Maguire was injured before that match, right? We all know that.
Yeah.
It was reported. And then now there's rumors floating around saying that he's actually not even close to match fitness. And he kind of rushed him, to play in that match. And I heard that he only like trained once, I think the day before, and then they kind of rush him in the match when he's not fully fit.
Yeah.
Maguire, yeah, and then you can see the string of games continue, and now look what happened to Varane, right?
Yeah.
Varane just came back from a groin injury. I'm not sure how they assess. I might be wrong. It might be a different injury altogether. He might be perfectly fine. I don't know, but it's a bit too close for rush. You see, he started in the Spurs game, right? It's all good and fine and dandy. You make him start again, you know, in midweek Champions League. And I'm not too sure why you had to do that. I mean, probably just to get another clean sheet. You can sense there's a signs of desperation there from Ole. And then look what happened to Varane. Now he's out
Yeah.
again for a month. Yeah, and now he's gonna miss the matches against City and I heard against Chelsea and all those down the road. So you see what I'm saying? How are we gonna? I don't know, man. I mean, that's it. I'm not gonna talk anymore. Let's just skip on to the next question.
All right. We'll put you out of your misery for now talking about Man United. All right. But I don't know if we're gonna talk about different teams for now, since Mr. JB summed it up about Man United for us. Yeah, we did mention a bit about how impressive West Ham has been this season, how impressive Brighton has been, especially you see like Liverpool coming on from a 5-0 win and Brighton to come back from 2-0 down to 2-2 could have won 3-2 if it wasn't for VAR. It's very impressive, right? Like among all the teams that you have seen so far, which one has most impressive out of the 10 groups?
Okay, first, let me be honest. I haven't had the opportunity to watch all teams yet.
Yep.
But I think the mix and balances of the two teams that you just mentioned, West Ham and Brighton, they have very good balance in the squad, I feel. We take a look at West Ham. I think West Ham is a clear case of you utilize your players to their strength. They don't have, we're not talking West Ham, we're not talking attacking football, we're not talking defensive football.
It's David Moyes.
We've never talked about, we've never heard David Moyes talking about philosophies and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because I think that's how it's supposed to be. You approach a match on a match by match basis. You go against an opponent, you study your opponent, you dissect what an opponent's weaknesses are, what are their weaknesses, how can we overcome those weaknesses, how can we make their weaknesses as our strength, and then how do we attack, and then how do we defend in that match. And I feel with West Ham, that's the way David Moyes and his teams are set up. And then if we take a look at Brighton, we all have seen Brighton play. And I still go back to that match when they played against Arsenal, where they drew the match in a cold and windy day, a rainy day, a rainy night. And
Even
I think
it was very entertaining.
And I was texting you, and I think that match was in the morning for us in Singapore.
Yeah.
And I was taken aback by that match because, look, Arsenal is Arsenal. And I'm not taking Arsenal as a bad team. I'm not. Arsenal has all its histories and legacies behind it. But for a club like Brighton, who nearly went into extinction years ago, to be playing against Arsenal and taking them toe to toe, and then we bring that back to a week ago when they played against Liverpool, like you mentioned, when they nearly won. That speaks a lot about the team, the fighting spirit, the hunger, and look, they play good football as well. They're trying to be on the front foot. They're trying to keep possession of the football. But there's a clear difference between West Ham and Brighton. Brighton has a style of play. Graham Potter has a style of play. He wants to play as such. So we see two tails of the books now. We see a team that goes to play to the player's strength, and we take a look at Brighton, where obviously they're trying to play good football, positive football. I'm not saying David Moyes and West Ham is not playing positive football. They're playing to their strength. They're playing to win every match. But if you're asking me teams which have, I won't say surprised, because I'm not surprised that they're doing well, but teams that, a bit, like I look at football as I mentioned again earlier with Newcastle, there has to be that upwards trajectory.
Yeah.
I feel West Ham are on an upwards trajectory.
Yeah.
Who would have known? David Moyes, 1-2 seasons ago, everyone is talking bad about him, coming out with memes and whatnot about David Moyes' time at United. Now look at what United fans are talking about Moyes. And then we take a look at Graham. Yeah, and we take a look at Graham Potter and what he's done. Look, he has no star name. I think the biggest player that they have in the team who was a big star, Lallana.
Yeah.
The rest of the players are
Probably
relatively,
Cucurella. I mean, he's a
yeah,
bit older, so
Cucurella, who played well, and like I say, like I talked to
he
you and
played
I
well in
mentioned to
the
you,
previous
I mentioned to you, dude, he came from out of nowhere. The fact that they can sign a player like Cucurella, who played extremely well in the Olympics, that is a good sign. And then look, the rest of the team done. Who's that? I don't know. Trossard, where did he come from? I'm not too sure. Maupe, we all know, but Maupe, everyone knows Maupe for all the wrong reasons. But take a
Yeah.
look at his work rate. He's not, of course, he's not Bobby Firmino, but he's in the box. He's a fox in the box. But look, these are two teams. They're not going to push for top four. I don't think so. But are they in the reckoning for European spots? I hope so. I feel so. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, just one last question as well. Looking at the table right now, which team would you guys say probably most underperforming so far out of the 10 teams? Personally, I think I'm gonna go first. I would say Aston Villa. Personally, Aston Villa, given the money that was given after Jack Grealish, they spent well on Buendia and Leon Bailey, and they have quality players, really. They also bought Danny Ings up front. I think personally they're underwhelming. Mr. JV, would you agree to Aston Villa, or would you say another team over there that is underwhelming to you so far?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there. I mean, I wanted to mention the same as well. I mean, with players like Ashley Young.
Oh, come on.
with
Are we
players
going to
like,
consider Ashley Young?
I mean, with players like, I think United loaned them, I think Axel Tonzibi as well.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you have Tyrone Mings, and then, we all know the famous goalkeeper, Emiliano Martinez. Yeah, with all the players that they got at the moment, your Ollie Watkins, your Anwar El Ghazi, all these players, Danny Ings, as you mentioned. Yeah, I do feel that, they're not doing so good, because when clubs like Brentford and Palace and Southampton, who really had a bad season last season, I feel Southampton is technically above you right now. Yep, then I think something is wrong somewhere. I think another one that we need to mention is also Leeds. I feel that Leeds, actually, given their debut season last season, I believe, when they got up from the championship, I think they did very well. But for some reason, this season they kind of struggled to get into gear. Not so much of the
Is
kind
it
of
a
football.
second season syndrome?
Yeah, probably, possibly, and that's one thing that we don't want to happen, because I kind of admire Leeds at one point, because I feel that especially last season they kind of proved themselves that they are here to stay. So that's exactly what I expected, but unfortunately this season they kind of couldn't get the right foot in at all. And of course, the one that we already talked about, and that's Newcastle. I'm not sure whether the problems is because they have all these talks that's going about changing ownership, blah blah blah. There is obviously unhealthy vibes, coming into the season. And then if this is the cause, of that news and that hoo-ha and that change, and I don't think it's not looking so good, because not getting a win at all out of 10 games for a club like Newcastle is unacceptable, I feel. Yeah, and I really, really hope that they really turn this around quick, because if not, it's going to be a huge mountain for them to climb. And well, I guess another surprise, I would say for me is have to be Everton as well. I feel with the manager that they got, Benitez, I'm not sure if he's still trying to work his magic, but I believe I have huge expectation for them as well. Yes, they lost James Rodriguez and some other players, but they kind of retained most of the squad over there. You still have your Yerry Mina, your Lucas Digne, your Fabian Delph, all these players.
I mean, they were doing well at the start. Somewhere they just kind of fall off.
Yeah, so I'm not too sure if it's injury, is a problem, especially to DCL, Kevin Lewin. So I'm not too sure if injury is a problem. So yeah, Everton as well is another of my surprise. But other than that, I have to agree with you. Aston Villa has been one of the more disappointing ones.
Well, Harnazi, over to you. Do you feel that, do you agree that Aston Villa, Leeds, maybe Everton, or do you see other names like Newcastle not having a win, or Leicester being in the bottom 10? Share with us. So who's the underwhelming?
For me, you guys mentioned Aston Villa, Everton, Leeds, and all that, but from my standpoint, I expected them to. I won't say expected, but I think they are where they are because of whatever that's happening at the club. But for me, I won't say worrying is the word, but I think a club which I feel should be pushing for the top four as of this moment is Leicester. Look, they win 4-2 against Manchester United, but I feel that's a one-off because I think as of this moment, I'm sorry again, Mr. JB, but I think as of this moment, everybody wants to play against Manchester United. They have the imbalances in the team. They're not, I won't say they're lacking on confidence, but the team play is not there. But I'm not going to speak about Manchester United. Um, I think Leicester consistency has not been good. I think for a club, I feel they did well last season, nearly finishing in the Champions League spot before getting put off in the last day of the season. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Um,
they fall off really bad from like over 10 points gap, and they immediately
yeah.
fall off.
So I feel Leicester with a manager that they have, I won't say the players that they have, but I think Brendan Rodgers knows how to get the best out of his players. Leicester were in the Champions League, I think 3 or 4 seasons ago. It seems like a long time ago now,
Yeah.
but they won the Premier League before again. Like I say, it seems like a long time ago now, but they've done it before. I'm not saying Leicester needs to be champions every season. No, I'm not saying that. Even the season that they won they were champions of the league. Uh, the rest of the clubs were not doing well. It were very consistent. The rest of the top four clubs were inconsistent. So, but my perspective, I feel Leicester should be up there. I think Leicester should be in West Ham's position now. But
Mm,
you
that's
see,
true.
football, people always say the ball is round. I feel Leicester should be in West Ham's position. I'm not saying West Ham should be in Leicester's position now. No, I don't think because they have done well. But I think
I
Leicester
mean, with
caught
the
me by
squad they have,
surprise.
they should be at least in the top, at least in the top 10.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
look, it's relatively still early. We
Yeah.
have 38 matches. I might be wrong. They have 37 matches to play or 38 matches to play. But
Yeah.
I'm just basing it on performances, and I'm not basing it so much on the results because if you put on a good run along the way, you're gonna get up there at the end of the day. But performances, I think playing against lower teams, the likes of Leeds, Norwich, Brentford, who else? All these teams which I'm sorry again to the Aston Villa fans. I feel Aston Villa and Leicester, there's a certain gap in terms of, I'm not saying playing style, but there is a gap. Aston Villa promoted. Leicester has been in the league for quite some time, winning the league, played in the Champions League before. I feel, it's quite a little bit of a disappointment for Leicester not to be there. Still early days, but if you want to finish in the top four, you want to finish in the top six, you need to be consistent throughout. And I think consistency is not there for Leicester. So I'm not going to name any other teams because I feel they have underperformed so far, Leicester City.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna give a few shout out real quick before I go to the question of the day. Personally, I feel like Wolves has been one of the underrated dark horse of the season so far to me. Yes, they started off really bad, but they got a few strings of good performance, and I think there's a slight change in terms of team dynamic ever since they bring in the striker Huang. He's been doing really well. Like they're at 7 now, and people initially thought that they're gonna slump after last season at 13, and after Santo left for Spurs, they thought they're gonna slump some more. The Portuguese project is done, but they seem to be pulling some strings. And last but not least, I gotta mention Arsenal. I'm sorry, okay. First of all, throughout the whole last month, all I hear was Arsenal being 20th, no goals. We have no goal of the month to show in Instagram or YouTube or anywhere. We have nothing. And I would say, like what I heard Nazi say is true, because Arteta just give him a bit time, they will slowly come up. They're not gonna really break into the top four, but I would say in the top 8 or 6, they are definitely should be there if they keep up with the current performance. So with that said, that's coming to the end of the podcast for this episode. Coming on to the question of the day to you guys, sticking a little bit to the Newcastle owners and fairy tale signings and all. So the question of the day to you guys: if you guys are the manager for Newcastle, the owner gives you, well, basically unlimited money because they are the richest in the world. If you're the manager of Newcastle, who is your first marquee signing for Newcastle? Take a while to think. Take your time to think. Personally, I think for me personally, they do need, of course, the whole squad need a very big overhaul. But if they really want to put a stamp into how much they are serious in investing the squad, if I would say a few players. If they want to sign a goalkeeper, they need to sign someone serious like Jan Oblak, if they can. That will be my marquee signing. Or Unai Simon. I would say Unai Simon is more realistically sharp because he played for Spain. He's doing quite well. Sure, he may fumble a little bit in the international week, but for club level, he's doing really well. Of course, some other players, I was thinking maybe striker-wise because Joe Linton isn't doing well. And the players that are currently somewhat realistically available because they're not doing well in the club, I will get Icardi. I know he's a troublemaker. He's gonna fly around anywhere, but if you're gonna bring in serious star names, and Icardi is one of those star names, there's a reason why Paris Saint-Germain actually signed him. You know, when you already have Neymar and Mbappe and Angel Di Maria, that's your front three even before Messi. Signing Icardi was a main step, and then they have Messi as well. They have way too many stars there, so just get Mauro Icardi. I mean, that would be my marquee signing. You can build a player around them, around the keeper, or around the strikers. Yeah, that's for now. Harun Azir, over to you. Who is your marquee signing if you're the coach of Newcastle United?
All right, if I'm the manager of Manchester United, if I'm the manager of Newcastle United,
I think Mr. JB would rather have you than
look, if I'm the manager of Newcastle United and we're not talking any sense right now, I'm gonna name 3 players. Pau Torres, centre back.
Okay.
Centre mid, I'm gonna get Kovacic.
Yep.
Up top, forward or in an attacking position, I'm gonna go with Neymar.
Ooh, nice. Mr. JB, over to you. If you're the fantasy manager for Newcastle, who is your marquee signing, given the money that you have?
Right. For me, I'm gonna go, go big or go home, right? That's what they say. If I'm the manager, the first player I'm gonna get is gonna be controversial, but I don't care. I'll get Lewandowski.
Ooh, Lewandowski.
He will be my first marquee
I
signing.
can't even imagine it in the Newcastle jersey, but money talks.
Yeah, money
Just
talks.
like Messi, no one thought Messi would wear another jersey.
Yeah,
Anything can happen.
you know what I'm saying? Money talks, and it doesn't matter. With money, you can wear any color you want. So for me, it's down to these 2 players. Sorry, I forget to mention one more. So it's either Lewandowski or Karim Benzema. For me, you either go big or go home. You start with a striker. Newcastle is known for, their own legendary striker. So why not start with the striking department, get the fans excited again? So for me, can you imagine having Lewandowski finally playing in the Premier League? That is huge. That'll be big. Benzema, well, probably, player. I mean, I'm not sure how old is Benzema compared to Lewandowski, but
Lewandowski is probably slightly older than
yeah, but for me, age.
I think they're around the same age, 30,
around the same age.
33, 34, 35, around there.
Yeah, probably. But and then, if you want to continue, start bringing all those not so popular players, you can probably buy in Coutinho, not much game time, and probably, I don't know. And another player who is kind of struggling right now, you can even throw in Griezmann in the mix as well. And, you are looking at a pretty decent signing. But again, I'm just hoping that all these would come true one day, because all these players, I feel, are quality players that, it will be good to see if we can get to see them playing in the Premier League.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I think with the money they have, if they are able to bring in most biggest European names, star players that are playing around, then I'm just gonna say this right now: the word "Big Six" is no longer a Big Six anymore. I mean, technically now it's not really anymore because we have the likes of Leicester, Wolves, Everton, Aston Villa, who are big money spenders recently. they are trying to break into this so-called Big Six. And now with the Newcastle project that's going on, obviously they're going to be a force to reckon with. So with that being said, we're coming to an end to this episode. Do press the like, share, subscribe down below, comment down below, check us out on Spotify, and tell us whether you agree with us, agree with Harunazi or Mr. JB. Yeah, Mr. JB, would you agree? Would you take Harunazi as your coach comparatively? Just a quick one.
At this rate, yeah, sure. Anyone. Just bring in anybody. All right.
Okay. In the next
I would not take myself, man. I would not take myself.
Even 18-month contract? How about 18-month contract like Conte?
No, man. I don't think I'm ready. Let me get my badges all first, man.
Okay, in the next episode, we'll try to cover other leagues, and hopefully, I'm gonna try focus on the Champions League and the Europa League and the Conference League. We have yet to touch on it, and hopefully, we can discuss more on it. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.